Russia is moving troops to the borders of Ukraine's northern neighbour Belarus. The joint military exercises, named United Resolve, are to take place as Russia also assembles forces along Ukraine's eastern border, threatening a potential invasion that can unleash the largest conflict in Europe for decades.
An intense focus on Ukraine because of the significant buildup we've seen of Russian forces near the Ukrainian border. We know that there are plans in place to increase that force even more on very short notice, and that gives President Putin the capacity, also on very short notice, to take further aggressive action against Ukraine.
Moscow denies any plans for an attack, but has said it could take unspecified military action unless the West agrees to a list of demands, including banning Ukraine from ever joining NATO.
North Korea has hinted at resuming its nuclear and long-range ballistic missile tests. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un presided over a meeting of the party's Central Committee's Political Bureau. The Politburo meeting also prepared for a long-term confrontation with the United States. In a likely reference to Pyongyang's nuclear and ICBM programs, the meeting gave an instruction to a sector concerned to promptly examine the issue of restarting all activities that had been temporarily suspended. Despite biting international sanctions, Pyongyang has conducted a string of weapons tests this year. Leader Kim Jong-un has pursued his vowed goal of further strengthening the military.
The first planes carrying aid reached Tonga on Thursday, 5 days after the island nation was hit by a volcanic eruption and tsunami. Australian and New Zealand aircraft touched down with water treatment gear, shelter, kitchens, and a sweeper to remove ash from the airport. The delivery of the supplies was contactless to ensure Tonga remains free of the coronavirus. Over 100,000 people have been cut off from the rest of the world for days. The disaster severed an undersea telecoms cable that was one of the few links to the outside. Footage has emerged of the aftermath, showing ash-covered debris and trees torn from their roots. At least 3 people were killed as the tsunami waves rolled across the archipelago.
After a 2-year delay, Cambodian opposition leader Kem Sokha is heading back to court. He's accused of trying to overthrow the government, a charge he denies. Kem Sokha could face up to 30 years in prison if found guilty. A spokesman for Cambodia's Justice Ministry told Al Jazeera it rejects criticism that the trial is politically motivated. Kem Sokha was head of the opposition party, the Cambodia National Rescue Party, or CNRP, when he was arrested in 2017. Shortly after, the Supreme Court ordered the party to be dissolved after the government accused it of plotting a coup. That paved the way for Prime Minister Hun Sen's party to win all parliamentary seats in an election the following year.
Bringing a pet home for a child should be a joyous occasion, but it's turned to heartache for animal lovers caught up in the Hong Kong government's latest anti-COVID crackdown, a hamster cull. Anyone who bought hamsters recently has been ordered to hand them over to the health workers. An increase in COVID-19 infections was traced back to this pet shop, where 11 hamsters tested positive for the virus. Since then, health workers have been visiting other pet shops in the territory to enforce the cull. And the government isn't only targeting animals. Anyone who recently entered the shops will have to go into quarantine for 3 weeks, whether they had direct contact with the hamsters or not. But most scientists say it's extremely rare for the virus to be transmitted from pets to people.
Snowfall and blizzard have wreaked havoc in most of Turkey's 81 provinces. Thousands of people were stranded on the highway. Nearly 3,000 people were trapped in their cars as traffic came to a standstill due to the blizzard. Cars were seen sliding dangerously on icy roads as drivers struggled to maintain control. In the province of Gaziantep, one of the most populated regions in the country, temperatures dropped to -3 degrees Celsius and rare snowfall blanketed the region. Power outages were reported in several neighborhoods, and the Turkish military helicopters were dispatched to deliver food and medical aid to stranded passengers on the highway.